All right, today we're tackling one of those huge questions. Maybe the huge question. What does it actually mean to live a good life? We're going to see how a command from thousands of years ago gives us a surprisingly clear roadmap for right now. So let's get into it.
Yeah, it really all boils down to this one question, right? A question I'm sure you've kicked around in your head. What's the real measure of a good life? I mean, is it just about, I don't know, checking off boxes, following the rules, or is there something deeper going on?
Well, to get some perspective, we're actually going way back. We're looking at this foundational command from the book of Leviticus. And this isn't just some old, dusty text. It's a direct instruction that's been shaping how people think about this for millennia.
And here it is. The command itself is super simple, very direct, and, let's be honest, kind of intimidating. Be holy, for I, the Lord, your God, am holy. Whoa. Okay, so that's not a suggestion, right? It's presented as this core requirement for living a life that's aligned with the divine. But what in the world does be holy even mean? So when we hear holiness, we usually think of something like being set apart, being morally pure. And that can sound really abstract, maybe even impossible. But here's the thing. The text doesn't just drop that word and walk away. It immediately follows it up with some very specific, super practical instructions on how to actually live this out.
Yeah, this wasn't just some vague philosophical idea floating around. Nope, it came with a clear rulebook for everyday life, what people often call the Holiness Code. And that's what makes this whole idea much more, concrete.
And when you look at this code, it's actually kind of shocking how practical it is. It's not about some complex mystical rituals. It's all about how you treat other people. The rules are so direct. Don't be deceitful, don't hold grudges. And then you get the big one, the one that really ties it all together. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. This is the key takeaway, right? From the very beginning, this lofty idea of holiness was tied directly to how we connect with each other.
Okay, so fast forward a few centuries, a famous parable comes along and basically takes this ancient law and just brings it to life. It paints this incredibly clear picture of what loving your neighbor actually looks like day to day.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. You see on the left, you've got the command from Leviticus, be holy, love your neighbor. Kind of abstract, right? But then on the right, you get the application from a parable in the Gospel of Matthew. It's all about concrete acts of mercy for people who need it. The parable basically becomes the how-to guide for holiness. It's the practical application of the ancient rule.
So what are these acts of mercy exactly? Well, the story lays them out. And they're not some huge, heroic, impossible deeds. They are simple, direct responses to the most basic human needs you can imagine.
It starts with the absolute essentials for survival. I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I mean, these aren't complex ethical puzzles. This is about responding directly and immediately to someone's suffering.
And it keeps going, moving on to needs of, belonging and dignity. A stranger and you welcomed me, naked and you clothed me. Welcoming the outsider, the person who doesn't fit in. And providing clothes, that's about so much more than just warmth. It's about restoring a person's dignity.
And finally, it extends to the people who are so often forgotten, the ones society might just cast aside. Ill and you cared for me. In prison and you visited me. This just drives the point home. This call to mercy is for everyone, especially the most vulnerable and the most ostracized among us.
And then you get the knockout punch, the climax of the whole story, the ultimate measure, the thing everything is judged on, is these simple acts of compassion. Because as the text reveals, when you served the least of these, you are actually serving the divine itself. Just wow.
So this really brings us to the core insight of this whole explainer. It's this profound, unbreakable link between being holy and being compassionate. To be set apart for God doesn't mean hiding away from the world. It means setting yourself apart for the service of other people.
You see, this completely flips the script on what it means to be holy. It's not just a passive thing, avoiding bad stuff. It becomes this active, dynamic pursuit of mercy. It's not just about what you don't do. Don't lie, don't hold a grudge. It's all about what you do. You feed, you welcome, you visit, you care.
Okay, so what does this all mean for us, right here, right now? How do we take this ancient call and make it real in a world that looks so different from the one where it was first written? Well, the reflection that we're drawing this from points out that times of spiritual focus, like the season of Lent, for example, are really a challenge to live this out. They're a call to turn these big ideas into concrete acts of charity,
to actually see the face of the divine in the hungry, the thirsty, and the imprisoned people in our own communities today.
So if we were going to boil this all down, the whole path kind of looks like this. Step 1, you get the call, be holy. Step 2, you find the path, which is show mercy. And step 3, you find the proof, the evidence that you're really on that path, and that's take action. It's a simple, powerful, and honestly a deeply practical roadmap for living a good life.
And all of this really leaves us with one final challenging question. It isn't about whether you're holy in some, abstract, perfect sense. It's much simpler. It's about where you can act. So if holiness is really found in how we respond to the needs of other people, where is your next opportunity to be holy?